So you want to learn how to farm the troll boss. Well, I can tell you it's not very difficult. I managed to farm this guy inside of about 2 hours worth of attempts. Had a little bit of coaching from a good friend of mine named Nizori, who I would highly recommend you guys go and check out on Twitch. He's a content creator on twitch.tv. He isn't full-time, but he is incredibly knowledgeable. I believe his goal is to go full-time, so if you guys want to pay him a little visit and give him your support, that would be really cool. Very, very knowledgeable guy when it comes to this game. Now, I did this fight at level 1. My rogue was level 1, only had the dark gray Castilian dagger, the starting one. And as you can see, or if you can't tell, I'm completely naked. The only thing I have is the Castilian. There are a couple of things here that are pretty important in order to be able to pull this off. Because the troll boss, the baseline troll boss, has some HP regen. So this is one of the only classes, if not the only potential class that is capable of pulling this off at level 1 without needing any other gold, any other items, because of a few key reasons. The main one being dot damage. See, the Castilian dagger in and of itself is not enough damage to be able to pull the job off. But if you notice, there's a couple of key perks that I'm using in this case. The talents that I've chosen are on the left, my Q is weak point attack, and on the right, my E is rupture. The idea is rupture bleeds the target, so it negates the majority of any HP regen that the troll would have. And then there's one other icon here that you can see in the middle, right in here in the top above my name, and that is Poison Dagger. So I don't have any stealth. I have no stealth capability at all. I'm basically just trying to go for straight DPS as a weak little level 1 Timmy. But here's the thing. The damage output from this combo alone is enough to get the job done. It just takes a while. So what I'm going to try to do is talk you guys through this fight and give you an idea of what it is that I'm looking at, things that you need to do, and why it is that I've lined up this way. I will say that I am not the best at this. I've just learned how to do this. As of this recording, when I was trying this, it was on a fresh wipe. It was one of the first raids that I ran. I was just kind of giving it a shot, and I had only killed the troll boss a half a dozen times to where I felt as though I was pretty confident in having him on farm. But this attempt was the first attempt that I had made. Luckily enough, we got him down. And one of the key things here is that you notice that I'm trying to line him up on the left side of his body, because he only has a few different key moves that he makes. There's this one overhead smash that he does here. There's this side swipe that he makes from his right hip. And then there's a few other attacks. One where he does a two-handed overhand smash that you can see right here. And the final one is a shout. He makes this big scream in a cone in front of him. So when he's making these larger attacks on his right side, when he swings across his hip like this, you notice that I back out until the animation is just about done. He ends up taking about a step and a half to where he settles in on his stance. When he does that, you need to make sure that you keep about a 5-meter distance until he begins to settle that. If you don't, he'll end up doing a combo attack where either he comes across his body and swings hard on you, or he'll do a secondary overhead smash that comes out faster. The vast majority of the time, if either one of those two attacks combos and you're too close, it'll one-shot you. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. When he shouts, you want to run up onto his left hand or his right hand, my left side, his right side, as I'm done here. On 2 of these attacks, you should be able to get a third strike, either using a dagger or the Castilian, if you use a rondel, whatever it is that you want to start off with. It is capable of beating him with both, but the Castilian dagger hits slightly harder on the third attack. It generates overall a slightly higher rate of DPS in the stuff that I've checked anyway. But I'm sure that there are people in the comments of this video that would say different. Remember, I'm pretty new at this, but I look at this as if I'm pretty new at it, that means that other people that are pretty new at it could still get this done without having to play this flawlessly or get double headshots or any of the other stuff that you see the more professional guys that have done hundreds of kills on him have done. In this case, what I'm looking at is trying to time that overhead smash so that I get that third strike on his right hand. If you notice, though, if he combos those and I don't get far enough away, the radiating damage from that overhead attack will hit. Now, that run right there was when he ended up hitting me with a shout. If he does that, he'll end up sprinting at you and try to do a low strike. You have to jump time it so that you jump over the hammer. Otherwise, again, it's a one-shot. But through perseverance and just monitoring his moves and making sure that you counter appropriately, move out when he does this overhead smash because it will kill you in one hit, and staying on his right hand as I'm showing you here, you can definitely down him. And it takes a little bit. It took me about 7 minutes. And the race here is against the circle, assuming that you don't get interrupted like this rogue that's sitting in the doorway is doing. Eventually, though, you will get him down. And there you go. Now, luckily, in my case, the guy that was playing this other rogue waiting in the doorway was pretty cool, and he didn't try to murder me. It allowed me to go run downstairs and loot all of the treasure down in the lower room. If you notice here, there's a golden chest, and I don't have lockpicking because I opted for poison daggers because, again, I'm only level 1. But from here, when we get to level 5, because killing the troll boss is a ton of XP, by the way, it's probably the fastest way in the game to level if you actually ended up downing him a bunch of times. From the treasure here that I looted, I went out, got out with what I had. Luckily, again, didn't get jumped on the way out, but I got out with what I had, was able to sell that off to the vendors, and was able to buy a whole bunch of plain gray Castilian daggers that did more damage, because that's the idea. From here, what you want to do is buy cheap materials. Plus agility gloves, run speed for boots. Any boots will do. 5 run speed leather boots will work out just fine. And plus 1 agility pants. If you feel like spending the extra gold on those, that will just improve your attack speed ever so slightly and save you a few extra frames to be able to hopefully potentially get away. At the end of the day, though, the point of this video is to show you that even at level 1 on a rogue, killing him is absolutely possible. There are actually a few different classes that can do this, so the next video that I'm going to make will showcase a different class killing the troll boss at level 1. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this video. Thank you so much for all of your time. Thank you for lending me your eyeballs. My name, once again, is Onepeg. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Onepeg, where I'm live just about every single day around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind subbing the channel here, that would also be amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.